Are the Ikweres right by saying they are not Igbos? Yes, they could be right, but Ikweres are actually Igbos. But I must say they are very, very correct in saying they are not Igbos for historical reasons. That Igbos also did what they are doing now. Let me explain. How did the Igbo nation come about? Now, the Igbo nation was actually formed by the British, not actually the Igbos themselves. Now, when they came along, the missionary actually found out that there were a lot of these dialects. Now, which we didn't even recognize at the time that one or the other, they were just variation of the other. And they felt like these things are not a holistic ethnic group as Igbo saw themselves that time. Because each of these dialects, like the way we have the Onitsha, we have the Nsukka, the Nkanu, the Abakaliki, all those things saw themselves them as a distinct ethnic group. But the white people saw it, no, these things are variation of the other. So that's why they went on to do the Igbo unification. The same thing with the Yoruba nation. Yorubas were around 12 different kingdoms who saw themselves as distinct tribes. Then also took the British to bring them under one umbrella, that's the Yoruba nation. In the same way, we got the Igbo nation. Now, so what the Ikweres are doing now is what the Igbos did like 120 or 150 years ago. So you understand that they're actually not wrong when they say the Igbos already did the same thing. Now, some people say in my comment section, do we need to actually talking about Ikwerre, the Igbos, should we actually care about whether they are Igbos or not? Yes and no. We shouldn't care, but we should also care. There's a reason why we should. Now, remember, not all the Ikwerres say they are not Igbo. There are a lot of our brothers who, even since after the independence and after the war, have actually maintained their Igbo identity. Now, that is true from the people who contested for others in the Igbo. A lot of them believe they are Igbo. So we owe them this correction of historical fallacies. So we owe them a lot. And we owe also our children and also their grandchildren, and also the children of these guys who belied to they are not Igbos. Because a lot of their parents were the one who actually did this. And then some of them just grew up in it and then they continued with it. And even if some of us were in their shoes, we would do exactly the same thing they are doing. So our own is to correct the historical fallacies they are putting out around and put the narrative very quickly. Because some people may be able to see this thing and know that we're actually saying the truth. So by actually bringing up the historical evidence that are very factual. My mission here is not to urge anyone or in this community outside the Southeast to become Igbos. No. Or do I have the illusion that any person who listens to this thing will actually change his mind and become and feel that he's changing his Igbo identity? No, that is not my mission here. I've said it and it's to correct these historical fallacies, all these distortions that are going on, even when they are very illogical. Because I find out that a lot of these guys find this very difficult to defend. And then they blame the Igbos for everything. All they do is abuse online. Because it's very hard for you to defend this. You have to be concocting history and inventing unimaginable things historically to just defend what is indefensible. Now, what is actually a race? Now, how do people actually identify to this race? Now, identification of a race generally when a person's native name, mother tongue, pedigree, and ancestral geographical location is what defines someone's race. Now, but in the case of the Ikwerre, when they say they are bini, now the native names, the mother tongues, and even their cultural practices are unrelated to the race they say they are from. That is it, because most of their cultural and linguistic similarities, they don't have it with the Bini they say they are from. Now, what are they saying? What are they saying is the problem? They are blaming the Igbos for the ones that caused the problem. Now, they say that the Igbos conquered them and changed their names. How true is that? Now, I explained to you earlier on that the Igbos did not even see themselves as one from the beginning. So, how did each of those groups, they should tell us the ethnic, the dialects, or the communities that actually conquered them and changed their names and imposed Igbo names on them. Now, secondly, what names were they answering before then? I'll give you an example of this in history. Now, the jihad took place in the north, and then imposed Hausa on a lot of the community who are not Hausa speaking. But even if you go to that place now, they still bear their original names. Like you see all these guys, Gwaza and all these kind of names from the north. Although some of them speak Hausa generally, but those are language, the remnant of those languages are still there. You understand? Although the man conquered them and then placed Hausa as maybe the lingua franca in the north, but you see most of those their tribes, the original tribes, are still there intact even till today, and they bear those their names, and you can see the names like the way you see Boala, like Daniel Boala and all those guys. You see most of those their tribal names are still retained with them. So even if you conquered the Ikweres, as they are claiming, what was their original name before we conquered them? What were the original cultural practices before we conquered them? Now, and that thing they are saying is that the name Ikwerre was even imposed on them, that their name used to be, I think, Ihuru. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Now, if Igbos imposed your name on you, why is it that other people are calling you the same name? They say their name is not Ikwerre, that Igbos are the one that imposed the thing on them. Then in 1963, you had a group, you had an umbrella Ikwerre name called Obako Ikwerre. Like the way we have Ohanese in the Igbo. Why did you choose Obako Ikwerre? Why not have Obako Ihuru instead of Obako Ikwerre? And now, why are other neighbors of yours who are also the ethnic minorities calling you Ikwerre? Because if you had this name, you had interaction, especially the Jaws, who you've had interaction with for a very long time. Now, they should be the one calling you the name. They should call you that your original name. If Igbo had a name for you that are not actually your name, you should be able to be called that your original name. Now, for example, the Hausa has called the Igbos Inyamiri, which is a corruption of the word Inyemiri. So, but other people don't refer to Igbos as that. It's only the Hausas that derogatory call the Igbos Inyamiri. But other groups, even like the TVs and others, don't call Igbos Inyamiri. They call them Bedari name, which are the Igbos. So that it shows that that does not hold any water. The original name of the Port Harcourt was once Igbo, which refers to the Igbo. Igbo refers to the fine island, like the Port Harcourt Island. Now, the name Port Harcourt was actually changed from Igbo to Port Harcourt in 1913 by Lord Lugard. It was named after one of the former British, that is the colonial secretaries, Lewis Harcourt. Now, remember they built a port in Port Harcourt in the 1912. It was named in 1913. That is the name Port Harcourt. You understand? So these are historical facts, and the evidences are there everywhere for any persons to see. Now, another one is the 4 market days in Igbo, which is Eke, Ore, Afo, and Nkwo. They are the same thing in Ikwerre land. These are not disputable facts. Now, if you check the tribal names there also, you can find out that even the ones that are not actually like the Igbo names, they are like a variation of the dialect, like our dialect. Some people think that the Igbos are monolithic, like they have one kind of people. Even in China, there's nothing like monolithic Chinese. There are also like there are other Chinese within the Chinese language. You understand? There's not like one monolithic Chinese language. Same thing with Igbo. There are dialects, which are like, they call it Igbonoid languages, about 38 of them currently. And these things vary from one to the other. Now, let me give you an example. Because some of them say we bear Obina. People bear Obina, where they bear Ovunda. Now, in the upper northern Igbo region, which is like Enugu and Abakaliki and some part of Oka, we don't even say Obina. Now, Obi means two things in Igbo. It could mean Obina, like the central room of a man, which is what we call it, the central living room of a man, or the heart. Obina, the heart of my father, or the central room of, that is Obina. Now, in Enugu and some part of the northern Igbo, which is like some part of the boy, we don't say Obi, we say Obu. Obu is heart. It's supposed to be Obuna. And you can see people asking Obu Obuna and all those kind of things. Obu Obuna in the Ikwerre land. Now, I don't know. The Ovu, they say they answer Ovunda. I don't know what Ovu means in Ikwerre land. But I assume it will not mean anything far from this that I've just said. Like the way Obu means this. Now, the name Amadi. Now, a lot of Igbos, especially from the Abia and the Imo, they answer Amadi so much. And it's the name of a god, which is same thing in their place also. Now, let's go to their traditional ruler. There's what they call the Apara Eze. Can you imagine the name of your traditional ruler, which is Eze Apara? That is the name of an Igbo king. And these are also the product of the Warren king that you have majority of, like 90% of the kings in the southeast have the product of the Warren chief system, which is actually something that happened in southeast. So that shows that these people were actually interacted to by the white people as Igbo group. You understand? So there are a lot of evidences to back this up. Like I said earlier on from the beginning of this video, I'm not doing this video so that people who believe they are not Igbos, who believe they are Igbos automatically. No, that's not my reason for saying it, but it's just to correct some historical fallacies. They can decide to be on their own. If you decide to stay on your own, no problem. But don't come and distort. It's easier to say, yes, we are Ikweres. We are a part of Igbo ethnic group, but we can decide to stay on our own. It happens like that. Imagine the Kogis who are in Ikwerre, Edo, and Kogi State also. Because there are some Yorubas in Kogi, there are Yorubas in Edo State, and the Yorubas in Kogi State, in Kwara State. Now imagine those people now claiming they are not Yoruba because they are not within the southwest region. It's very absurd to claim that. There are Germans in Australia who bear German name, have German ancestries. But because of their geographical location, they find themselves in Australia. But they speak, those their parts speak German. Like what is going on in Ukraine now? If you go to that place and see the way it's divided, some are partly some other regions, some Doba region, all those ones. Those regions, some of them are still speaking like the one that this guy announced before. They speak Russia. Not that you're not within this geographical location, then because of that, just because of that alone, it makes you, you're not from that particular place because of an arbitrary line that was drawn by the British. So it doesn't make any sense.